Everybody, welcome to Market Pros, where we talk about the markets, crypto, and economics as a whole. My guest today is Bodie. How are you doing today, Bodie?
Doing really well. Thanks for asking. How are you?
Good, good. So, real quick, can I get a rundown of your experience in the markets, crypto, NFTs as a whole?
Yeah, so I've been in crypto from 2017, and I was just hodling for a while. And then when I was looking for some more risk exposure, I found NFTs. Maybe getting close to a few years ago now, and I found Axie, went half in and then all into Axie pretty early on, and then diversified in some other projects. So mostly most of my experiences in crypto gaming, and it started with me hearing about Bitcoin in 2011, and a guy was telling me about it, that it had hit $1, and I knew enough about the economics that I knew about fractional banking and all that sort of thing. So when I heard about Bitcoin, he was telling me about it, I thought to myself, well, that could work, you know? And then in 2017, a good friend of mine called me and told me about Bitcoin, and you know, I found out it was at $6,000 or $4,000 or something at the time now, and I remember looking into it again, and I thought to myself again, I was like, oh, that could work. And then I remembered that I had that exact same thought in 2011, and I thought, man, I should probably hop in on this because it's probably gonna keep working. And so yeah, that was how it all started. And then with the crypto gaming, my wife actually had a prophetic dream. I was looking at a plot of land called a savanna on a river and thinking that it was a ripoff. Actually, in Axie, it was a couple $100. And then she came up and talked about her dream where she was with this girl named Savannah and they were on a river kayaking. Yeah, so I ended up buying that property. Yeah, I ended up buying that, and that's why I went into Axie, because honestly, I was extremely skeptical. I only went into Axie because I heard it was a high risk. I heard it was a very high risk thing from one of like the normal YouTubers, the crypto altcoin YouTubers, and I was looking for some risk exposure, and they said, "Oh, only put 2% here," and I was like, "Well, I know video games." I figured if this is a good video game, I'll know, because I know video games well, and I figured all these crypto people don't know video games, so I might be able to see if this is any good, and if it's high risk, maybe I can make a bet on it. And when I was looking at it, I was just like, this is so lame. But then, yeah, that happened, so that kind of superseded everything that I thought about it, and I went ahead and played Axie. Learned a lot of lessons from that.
So that's where it all started. That's how you really jumped in with full both feet into the metaverse and gaming as a whole.
Well, when I first started with Axie, I went half in, right? So I put I had 2 Bitcoin. I bought one in 2017. I held on to that, and then bought another one on the next dip when it was come back up from like 3,000, right? Just in 2019 or 2020, something like that. So I only went half into Axie, and that's why I went all into Star Atlas, because I learned my lesson the first time. Like, there was a plot of land that I could have bought for 30,000, because Bitcoin was 30,000 at the time, and I had one left that recently sold for 2.4 million. And I realized that, you know, next when I started having the same intuitions about about Star Atlas as I did with Axie Infinity, like I've been through like 20 different projects between then and now, between Axie and Star Atlas, and none of them have made me feel the same way. So now that I'm here and I'm having these same experiences, spiritually speaking, you know, these intuitions, and it's just like deeper inner knowings, right? Like, that's why I'm playing Star Atlas like the way that I am, and I'm being much less conservative. I'm taking a much bigger bet, relatively speaking. I'm probably like 85. I don't know, maybe. I guess some of the Gala Notes performed pretty well. So yeah, maybe like 70%, 80% in Star Atlas, something like that.
Gotcha. So what are your long-term perspectives? Like, where do you on crypto as a whole? Like, where do you see it going in the next 5 to 10 years?
I'm really hopeful for the underpaid of the world, the people who are having some of the worst economic situations right now, because they're still early enough to where, you know, they can hustle and grind. Like the world's economy isn't totally trashed. Like they can still, with these new play to earn and metaverse projects, they can earn $1 a day in crypto. Which is a lot to some people, and the fact that they can earn that in crypto, it just gives me a lot of hope. Some of these people I had 130 scholars that I was leasing assets to, and one of them, he didn't take home a check. He kept working. He kept breeding rabbits. A lot of people know him in the community. His name, well, I'm not going to drop his name, but he kept breeding rabbits and selling those to feed his family, but working on the side. But he took all of his money, and instead of spending it like most everyone else did, he actually reinvested it, bought his own assets, started leasing them to other people, became a manager himself. And he's just in a much better place now. So I'm really hopeful for, people like that are really hungry and, trying to get out of like the worst situations. A lot of people in the US, I don't think it's going to be too late. They're going to be just fine because, they're not in such a bad situation. But yeah, I'm really excited to see this big shift where, the people who need it the most are going to get what they need. So it's cool.
Wow.
But as far as crypto as a whole, like I think that, most of like the major alts, most altcoins are for pretty much middle class people. The underpaid of the world can't invest in crypto. So that's why I'm really hopeful for Metaverse and play to earn, because they don't need anything. They can lease assets and get exposure. And I think that's really exciting.
So what are your personal future plans in crypto markets, investing, metaverse, just your entire investing profession as a whole?
So like my long-term goals in crypto, I want to get 21 Bitcoin, the 1 in a million club. That would be super sweet because 21 million Bitcoins, right? So yeah, would like to get 21 Bitcoins in an ETH stake. So I know those are definitely pretty aspirational, but I feel like to me, as far as crypto, that would be the equivalent of like the bank account that you can live off the interest for the rest of your life. Like I just feel like that would give me such a sense of security within crypto. Like I feel really overexposed. I'm not really overexposed because I'm pretty well hedged and I got a good buffer relative to my cost of living. But like it's going to be really nice to have like the Bitcoin and the ETH and grab some Solana. I'd like to get more layer ones. I also have like another goal that I have is I don't want to take any funds out of Star Atlas for at least a few years until like the next bull cycle. If we maintain these 4-year cycles, which I anticipate we will, just because the halving is such a integral event. I don't know exactly how it's going to look, right? We might not get these parabolic moves, but yeah, like next time we have like in a few years, this next cycle, whatever it looks like, that's the soonest that I would like to start taking any money whatsoever out of Star Atlas. I'll still trade, into USDC if I expect a dump and then put it back in, but like actually taking money out of the ecosystem, I don't want to do that for a long time. So that's another goal of mine, is to live within the margin outside of Star Atlas.
What if you could go back to day one when you first made that jump into crypto, first took that big risk, and you could give yourself a piece of advice, what would it be?
I would say have more conviction and like trust in crypto more, because honestly, like the first bull run I bought in 2017, kind of in the middle of the bull run, like August, towards the end of the year. And to me, it was like I saw everything in dollars. And I mean, I still calculate things in dollars now, but I just really like saw the fiat equivalent of the gains. I didn't really care so much about like now my goal is to get to 21 Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Like I don't really care how much that's worth. Like I want 21. I want to have 1/1 millionth of all the Bitcoin, because to me like that's valuable. Whereas when I first started, I didn't see that value in
Right.
Bitcoin. I saw it more like I don't know. I guess I saw it kind of like kind of more like a bet. You know what I mean? Than a lifestyle. And I would say to like look at the Bitcoin Standard. I probably tell myself to go read the Bitcoin Standard. I still haven't read that
That's a
book,
good book.
but I feel like whatever's in that book is exactly what I needed.
It's a
Because I feel
very
like
good book.
I feel like I got it now. You know what I mean? Or at
Yeah.
least the gist of it. You know what I mean? Like I do see things in crypto equivalent now, and I didn't before. And so I would say that that was what I really needed to see. I didn't need to like learn how to hodl. I also didn't, because I never really valued dollars that much either. So I was just kind of I didn't really value it. I was still kind of valuing um, not anything in crypto or in fiat. I was more valuing like experience and like sustainability, certain things. I just wish I put a little bit more emphasis on valuing like crypto and realizing how incredible it actually was. Because I was in relatively early, right? I mean, shoot, I could, if I would have realized. And the same thing goes when I heard about it at $1. I could have just realized like, wow, that's valuable enough to at least put $100 in. You know what I mean? Like there were so many times where I could have just done a little bit more if I just would have seen the value in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, I think we all wish we would have got Bitcoin at $1.
Yeah, it's so crazy that I remember this guy came up to my mentor, he was a boss at the time. He's like, Bitcoin need $1, and I was like, what's Bitcoin? And he was explaining it to me, but I was like living out of a trailer off food stamps, spending all my money on skydiving, totally degenerately. So I wasn't about to spend money on digital currency.
Yeah. And now look at you.
Oh man, like honestly, I'm in. When I look back and I look at that, I realize like I probably wouldn't be the same because I went through. There's so many really pivotal and key life events that happened that I'm absolutely like nearly certain would have never happened had I invested in Bitcoin. So yeah, I just couldn't see myself like having done that and being the same. So in a way, I'm grateful that didn't happen. Right? I think I would have changed me maybe, possibly.
It's
And I like me.
crazy. Well, that's definitely a plus. It's crazy how these little decisions that we make cause a ripple effect. You know what I mean? Like that one little decision made way for all these other little decisions, and every little decision that you make puts you exactly right where you are today. You know? Oh, and by the
That
way,
reminds you. Oh, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, by the way, this interview is not sponsored by the Bitcoin Standard, but I am open to it. Go ahead.
So one thing that reminded me of is Gala Notes. When I was looking at Star Atlas and I was looking at going really heavy, I was selling my Mystic Axie and my plots of land that I bought in Axie, and I had hold on to. I never sold. I guess I sold some of them to buy AXS and stuff, but I had held them for a long time, and I sold knowing that I was going to go all into Star Atlas, and just knowing myself well that whatever assets that I have left laying around, I'm going to sell all of them, and I'm going to go all in Star Atlas. Like I knew that I was going to do that. So what I did was because I had been wanting to get a Gala Node for a long time, and the price had already gone up a lot, but I knew that the price was going to continue to go up because they made a change after they got listed on Coinbase or Binance or something. The prices started to go up, and I knew they were going to go up a lot. So I made the decision in that moment to go ahead and buy a few of them, and those performed so well. I bought them at 16,000, and they're 96K. Just like literally like a month or two later, they just
Wow.
exploded in price. Like I thought they would, but I didn't think they were going to go up that much. Otherwise, I would have bought more.
Yeah.
I was on the fence about buying a fifth one, but I bought four, and those are essentially, that one little, decision is now what's essentially funding. Like that's how I'm able to I live off the Gala nodes, and I just sell those. And sometimes, like just the other week, I bought a little Polis, but for the most part, I just use that to fund my cost of living, and it's pretty high quality of life too. So, and now I can kind of feel like confident with my allocation in Star Atlas and just not mess with it. I'm just compounding the gains. I'm levering up within Star Atlas because I feel like it's all kind of it's all money that's already set aside. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It worked out really well, and it was just a thought and a decision, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy how it all happens. So you went from Skydiver to where you're at today.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, and it was
amazing.
crazy that Gala Note. I thought about that for so long. I wanted that Gala Note for months. My friend actually told me, he's like, if I had a dime for every time you told me you wanted a Gala Note, I'd have $100 or whatever. I did. I talked about it all the time, and finally, like, I knew that like it was now or never, and I went pretty hard on him. And yeah, it's like it's an amazing hedge to Star Atlas. I feel really, really confident with like going so heavy into Star Atlas because of that decision, and it like worked exactly like I wanted it to. I wanted to make myself comfortable going into Star Atlas, and it did exactly that, because I knew that if I went too much into Star Atlas and then it wasn't performing well, it was going to make me feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what happened with Axie. Is like I went really heavy into Axie and then it went down really hard, and I kind of got scared. And I feel like, I just learned these things about myself. Like I knew I was going to go all in. I knew I needed to kind of stop myself from being able to do that, because the nodes you can't sell. That's the thing, is you're locked in for like a long time.
Gotcha. So we're almost out of time. Do you have any closing thoughts?
I would say just I would say, buy when people are afraid. So now is a good time to be accumulating. Um, but also, the other thing is definitely look up manifestation, and um, like believing in yourself and projecting as if things are already a reality. Like take the things that you want, write them down, visualize it, feel like you're already in that experience and experiencing, right? So like I remember I was driving down the road going to work one time, and I just envisioned myself driving to the beach instead on my own time in the type of car that I wanted, which was actually this like electric car. I still don't have it, but it was just kind of cool to see myself driving down the road carefree the other day in a better car, like not going to work. And I was like, wow, like you can start to create a vibe, and nature will kind of sync you up to it, or sync up to you, or how, I don't know exactly how it works, but that's how it does it. That's how it works.
Gotcha. Well, Bodhi, I want to thank you for coming on. I really enjoyed this. If you enjoyed the interview, please like the video, and I will see you in the next one.